This wild wolf saved a hiker who was bleeding out alone in the mountains. The man had fallen off a cliff and shattered his leg on the rocks below. He was miles from the trail, no signal on his phone. No one knew where he was. He tried to crawl, but the pain was unbearable. He was losing too much blood. Hours passed. The sun was setting. He knew he wouldn't survive the night. Then he heard something moving through the trees. A massive gray wolf emerged from the shadows. The man froze. Wolves don't usually approach humans. This one walked straight up to him. He thought this was how he would die, but the wolf didn't attack. It grabbed his jacket sleeve gently in its teeth and started pulling him. The man was confused, but he had no other choice. The wolf dragged him for over a mile through the forest, stopping every few minutes to check if he was still conscious. Finally, they reached a hiking trail. The wolf let go, looked at the man one last time, and vanished back into the woods. 20 minutes later, a group of hikers found him and called for help. The paramedics said if he had stayed where he fell any longer, he would have bled out. That wolf knew exactly what it was doing. It led him to safety when no human could. Sometimes the wild has more heart than we give it credit for.
This crow has been stalking this man for 8 years, but the reason why will make you cry. This man saved a baby crow 8 years ago, but what happened when they met again will bring you to tears. It was a normal Tuesday when the man was walking through the park. Suddenly a crow landed on his shoulder. He tried to gently brush it off, but the crow refused to leave. Then the crow did something incredible. It reached into its beak and dropped a shiny coin into his hand. The man was confused, but then the crow dropped another coin, and another, and another. 5 coins total. The man looked closer at the crow and noticed a small white mark on its wing. His heart stopped. This was the same baby crow he had rescued 8 years ago, and for 8 years this crow had been collecting gifts, waiting for the day it would see him again. The man broke down crying as the crow gently nuzzled his face. Crows never forget a kindness. They remember forever.
A man was driving his truck across a bridge late at night when he saw a dog struggling in the river below. It was drowning. The current was too strong. There was no way to reach it in time. He slammed on his brakes and ran to the edge. The dog was being swept downstream, paddling desperately but losing the battle. Then he saw something that made his blood run cold. A massive alligator was swimming straight toward the dog. The man screamed, trying to scare it away, but the gator kept coming. He thought he was about to witness the worst thing he'd ever seen. Then the alligator did something no one expected. It swam under the dog, lifted it onto its back, and carried it to the shallow shore. The gator gently brought the dog to the muddy bank where the man could reach it. Then it just sank back into the water and disappeared. The man pulled the shivering dog to safety, completely in shock. He checked the dog for injuries. Not a single scratch. The alligator could have killed it in one bite, but instead it saved it. Wildlife experts later said they'd never seen anything like it in their entire careers. Some said the alligator might have thought the dog was its own baby. Others believe animals can sense innocence and pain. Whatever the reason, that alligator chose mercy over instinct, and a dog that should have died that night is alive today because the most dangerous predator in the river became its guardian angel. Sometimes the monster isn't who you think it is.
This cat was sneaking out every night at exactly midnight. The family thought he was just hunting or exploring, but after 3 days, they got worried, so they attached a small camera to his collar to see where he was going. What they found on that footage left them in tears. Every single night, this cat walked 2 miles through the dark streets, across busy roads, through alleyways, until he reached the town cemetery. He would sit at one specific grave for hours, just sitting there, waiting. The family checked whose grave it was. It belonged to the old woman who used to own him before she passed away. She had no family. No one visited her grave except for this cat. For 3 entire years after her death, this cat had been making the journey every single night to keep her company. He would sit by her headstone until sunrise, then walk the 2 miles back home. Rain or shine, snow or heat, he never missed a night. The family realized this cat wasn't their cat. He was hers, and he would never forget her. Loyalty doesn't end with death.
A farmer in Thailand was walking through his fields when he heard a sound. He followed it to a deep, muddy ditch and saw a baby elephant stuck at the bottom, alone, abandoned, too weak to climb out. The baby had been there for days, starving, dehydrated. The mother was nowhere to be found. The farmer knew if he left it there, it would die. So he climbed down into the ditch. The baby elephant was terrified and tried to move away, but it was too weak. The farmer spent 3 hours digging a path and gently pushing the baby up the slope. He carried water down to it, fed it, stayed with it until it had enough strength to stand. Finally, the baby elephant elephant climbed out. It looked back at the farmer one time, then disappeared into the forest. The farmer never saw it again. 20 years passed. The farmer grew old. One day, he was working in the same field when he heard heavy footsteps. He turned around and saw a fully grown elephant walking toward him. The farmer's heart raced, but the elephant stopped right in front of him, lowered its head, and gently pressed its trunk against the farmer's chest. The farmer looked into its eyes and he knew. This was the same baby he saved 2 decades ago. The elephant had come back. It spent the entire afternoon with the farmer, following him around the field like it did when it was small. Before sunset, the elephant wrapped its trunk around the farmer one last time, and then it left. The farmer cried because he realized that elephant had been searching for him for 20 years just to say thank you. Some debts are never forgotten.
This cheetah chose to starve rather than abandon her cubs. She hadn't eaten in 6 days because her leg was broken from a hunt gone wrong. Her 3 cubs were too young to hunt and too weak to travel far. Every day, hyenas circled closer, knowing she couldn't run. She had one choice: leave her cubs behind and find food to survive, or stay and protect them until the end. She chose to stay. On the 7th day, a massive hyena pack surrounded them. She could barely stand, but she positioned herself in front of her babies. The hyenas moved in for an easy kill, but then the cubs did something that changed everything. They stood beside their mother, tiny growls echoing hers. The hyenas hesitated, confused by the unified front. That moment of hesitation was enough. A nearby cheetah coalition heard the commotion and came running. They drove the hyenas away and shared their kill with the mother. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is refuse to leave when everyone else would run.
A marine biologist was diving alone off the coast of Hawaii, studying coral reefs. Suddenly, a dolphin appeared out of nowhere and started ramming into him, hard. It kept pushing him with its nose, forcing him toward the beach. The diver was confused and tried to push back, wanting to continue his research, but the dolphin wouldn't stop. It got more aggressive, wrapping its body around him and physically shoving him toward shallow water. The diver had no choice but to swim back to shore. He was frustrated, annoyed. He thought the dolphin had ruined his entire day of research. But when he checked his dive computer on the beach, his heart stopped. His oxygen tank had been leaking the entire time. He had less than 2 minutes of air left. If he had stayed down there any longer, he would have drowned. The dolphin knew. Somehow, it knew he was in danger before he did. The next day, the diver went back to the same spot, and the dolphin was there, waiting for him. It swam up slowly, and the diver reached out his hand. The dolphin pressed its nose against his palm. It was like the dolphin was checking on him, making sure he was okay. For the next 5 years, that same dolphin showed up every single time the diver went to that beach, protecting him, watching over him, like a guardian that never forgot the life it saved. Some bonds go deeper than species.
This baby panda refused to leave her injured mother even when rescuers tried to save her. The mother had fallen from a tree while reaching for bamboo and couldn't move her back legs. For 3 days, the tiny cub stayed by her side, bringing her bamboo shoots and water-soaked moss. Wildlife rescuers finally located them and tried to approach with a stretcher. The baby panda positioned herself between the rescuers and her mother, growling and swatting, despite being only 6 months old. The rescuers backed away, realizing they couldn't separate them. So they made a decision that changed everything. They brought a second stretcher. They carefully placed the mother on one stretcher, and instead of forcing the cub away, they let her climb onto the stretcher right beside her mother. The baby immediately curled up against her mother's chest. They transported both pandas together to the rescue center. During the entire ambulance ride, the cub never left her mother's side, keeping one tiny paw on her chest the whole time. The mother made a full recovery after surgery. Veterinarians said the cub's constant presence and care during those 3 days in the wild kept her mother alive long enough to be saved. That baby refused to give up on her mother when she needed her most. Love doesn't understand size or age.
This bear broke into this family's house at 3 a.m. The bear smashed through the back door and walked inside the house. The family heard the noise and ran to hide in the closet with their kids.
Dad?
The bear found them. It opened the closet door. But then the bear did something nobody expected.
What is it?
It's honey.
It's beautiful.
It pulled out a honeycomb from its mouth and placed it on the floor, a gift. Then it just walked away. Would you accept honey from a wild bear? Subscribe if you would.
This cat ran into a burning barn 5 times to save her babies. It was 2 a.m. when the fire started. But Scarlett didn't run away. She ran inside, 1 trip, 2 trips, 3, 4, 5. She saved all 5 kittens.
A silverback gorilla named Kato lived alone at the city zoo for 15 years. He was rescued from illegal traders as a baby and never learned how to socialize with other gorillas. He would just sit in the corner of his enclosure all day. Zookeepers tried everything. They brought in other gorillas. He ignored them. They gave him toys. He destroyed them. He seemed depressed, empty. Then one day, a deaf child came to visit the zoo with his class. The boy was using sign language with his teacher. Kato saw this, and he stood up. He walked to the glass, and he started signing back. The zookeepers couldn't believe it. Cato had been taught basic sign language as a baby before he was rescued, but nobody at the zoo knew. For 15 years, he had been trying to communicate, and nobody understood him. The boy pressed his hands against the glass. Cato pressed his hands on the other side. They were talking in sign language. Through the glass, the boy signed friend. Cato signed friend back. Then Cato did something he had never done before. He smiled, a real smile. After that day, the boy visited Cato every single week. They would sit for hours, talking in sign language through the glass. Cato wasn't depressed anymore. He was finally understood. Sometimes we're not broken. We're just speaking a language nobody else knows.